And you know, I've got a proposal because we're supposed to have representation for our taxation, and I'm going to keep with the concept that this country was founded upon revolutionary and radical ideas. We were formed by violent revolution and by the radical idea that government rules at the consent of the people. Well, every time there's a revolution, what usually happens? The people who are kicked out of power, they're killed in a popular revolution and their families are killed. That's how it works. They don't spare the children of these people. No revolution on earth has ever allowed your line to continue when you're a leader who's taken out of power. Am I right? I've got a little modest proposal. I think in the future, when you have a group in Congress and the Senate who can't come up with a balanced budget, they can't balance the budget, we should automatically, we as the taxpayers need to vote this in, they should automatically all be executed. All their families executed as a form of revolution. Since they can't handle budget our money correctly, and they can't come up with a budget, or any year in which they do not balance the budget, in which we're already $20 trillion in debt, we can't borrow any more money. That's it. If they want to borrow a single penny to pay for anything, if they can't balance the budget, if they go over it by 1 penny, execute all of their offspring, all their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, wipe their entire family line out as punishment. You do that one time, and then we hold emergency elections. You know what? They'll balance the budget. I promise you it'll never happen again. Because, you know, we'll just confiscate all their property to do that. Then we won't have to pay any sort of money. All these retirements we have to pay these people once they're in, we won't have to pay any of that anymore. We'll just confiscate all their property. Then we'll have money. We'll have funding. Because they're all wealthy. They're all millionaires. Some of them are billionaires. There we go. They can't balance the budget. That's what we do. We should put a law in place for that. Here's what else we need to do. We're supposed to not have taxation without representation. That means the taxpayer is supposed to have a say in how their money is spent. We don't have a say anymore. There's no consequences to them because the incumbents, people won't even vote against their own party to get the incumbents out. You can't run against them once they're in there. Once they're in for a long time because people are scared to vote for the other party, so they can mess up all they want. It's very hard to unseat an incumbent when their party is still the dominant party wherever they're elected from. So I got a solution. What we need to have, and only taxpayers should count towards this, because this isn't about democracy. This isn't about the voter. It doesn't matter whether you vote or not. This should be about your tax dollars being spent appropriately. So what we need to do is have everyone who paid taxes each year before, so anyone who paid at least $1 in income tax afterwards. Now that's only 50-something% of the population. Over 40% of the population doesn't pay any income tax. So it shouldn't be a big deal, because here's why. Their money's not being spent. Your money's not being spent, it shouldn't matter. And here's the interesting thing, because those people who don't pay any taxes are still registered voters, by the way. A big chunk are. So they still vote. So that's fine. They can help elect people. You have a right to vote whether you contribute to the system or not. That is written in the law. They're allowed to vote. But the taxpayer should have a direct say in how their money is spent. How you solve that, every time they propose a budget and put it into place, all the taxpayers should be allowed to vote, everyone who can prove they're a taxpayer, and they give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down like Caesar did. And they need to get at least a 30% approval rating, because, you know, 50% is unrealistic. The majority aren't going to agree. But if they can't get at least 30% of taxpayers to give them a thumbs up, so if they get 70% or more thumbs down, same thing. Blood democracy. Execute them. That's what we should do. That would be a fantastic law. We would just execute them, execute all their descendants, everyone who's an offspring of theirs, child, grandchild, wipe their whole family line out as a punishment for not being able to spend our money the way that we want. So anytime they don't get at least a 30% thumbs up for their budget, the way they choose to spend our tax dollars, we should just have a mini peaceful revolution to where they're just executed and we don't have to actually revolt. Get the same end result. And then we'll elect emergency elections again. So each budget, people can start campaigning ahead of time in the assumption that maybe they're going to mess it up, so that we have new people ready to run elections. We do quick elections, get people in. A week later, we start government back up. Beautiful solution. Now, I think that is a beautiful solution for a representative democracy. I promise you our budget will be balanced. You know, they'll be looking at the money going, well, we only have this many trillion. We can't borrow any money. Sorry, endowments for the arts. You got to go. Planned Parenthood, you're a private business. You charge money for your services. You can come up with your own funding. Do we really have money to give to the children of illegal immigrants, these anchor babies? I don't want to be executed, so no. See how beautiful that would be? See how easy that would be? They would stop squandering our money and wasting our money if they knew they would all be executed as a result. Isn't that an elegant and fantastic way to do it? In fact, I want people to listen to that. Someone needs to write this up and propose it. We need to get this put on the ballot. We need to get this voted into power. We need to get this voted into law. Let's finally make these representatives accountable for their actions and accountable for the way that they spend our money, and their entire family line accountable for how they spend our money. I promise you that would fix this problem immediately. That would fix this problem immediately. Let the taxpayers give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down, just like Caesar. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.